know that my parents, my grandparents, my uncles, and then my sister went from the ghetto, from Warsaw Ghetto, went to the death. Also, I don't know the day.
It was very difficult for me to reckon with the Holocaust. It was very difficult for me to reckon with how my grandparents and uncles and aunts were killed. I was haunted by those images.
I think that the Holocaust is the main connection between me and to be a Jew. And maybe it's good or maybe it's bad, but that's how I feel.
I think just being aware of the pain that your own family experienced make you much more sensitive to the people around you.
I know kids, and they don't take it seriously. They don't understand it, and they talk about it as if, okay, there was a Holocaust, whatever. It's not real. It's a story. Some people are exaggerating. It was different.
A German with a policeman, Polish policeman, came into that train and checked. There were a lot of children there. And they said, all you there out.
I can remember looking through boxes of photographs, and there were very, very few photographs of my parents' family. In that was a photo of her brother, Kalma.
Carmen was about 3 and a half years younger than me. A very good-looking little boy, very good boy, although he always wanted to prove to the teacher that she's not right and he's right. That photograph, I think he was 4 and a half. My uncle, who lived at this time in Paris, he wanted to have a picture of his mother. We went to a photographer. My grandmother wanted us to come along with her. The photographer took pictures of us, and she sent it to my uncle in Paris. After the war, when I saw my uncle, he made copies, he gave me a picture. There's very few pictures.
When I was a kid, I always thought that I would be able to find Kalma somehow, that I would be able to bring him back to my mother. It was a fantasy of mine to somehow bring a piece of my mother's lost past back to her.
I loved him very much, and we were closer, I think, that I was with my sister, because my sister was older. She liked to go out with boys, dress up, to have a good time. She put on lipstick and makeup. And the two of us were actually young children. We had more in common because we were kids and we liked to play ball, whatever. So I miss my brother a lot.
I always felt something really sad happened to her, and I didn't know what it was. And I wanted to know what it was. I started to ask a lot of questions, and so she told me about her life before the war, because she didn't want to haunt me with what happened to her during the Holocaust, so I learned a lot about her family life and her stories.
I loved him, and I had a big responsibility because I was the middle child, and wherever I went, I was supposed to take him with me, and I didn't like it. So once we went to the beach, and he was showing off to some friends with swimming, and he didn't know how to swim. And he was starting to go under, and they pulled him up, some people, and I was scared to death. I was so scared, and I said, I'm not going to take him anymore. I was afraid, because I could have lost him that time. And I was lucky not to.
I never wanted to paint anything connected to the Holocaust because I didn't see it as a subject matter. It was too big, it was too intense, and I certainly did not want to trivialize my parents' story in any way. So I wouldn't touch it. When I came up with the idea for the Memory Project, it really grew out of this sense of different streams of my life coming together. The idea that I had of videotaping myself painting so that I could bring people into the process of painting and have them experience from the inside what it's like to build a painting. And the universality of loss. We all lose someone, we all die. There is a universal element that I wanted to address. So that's why suddenly I felt there was a need to paint something connected to the Holocaust.